I realize we're running a little late and lunch break is coming up, but questions and answers. Who may I invite to start a discussion or start the questioning? Yes, please. Identify yourself. There's a microphone coming.
So my name is Jan-Erik Nyström. I work at AstraZeneca. I have personally not been involved in IMI. So if my questions are stupid, so that's the explanation. So I have a question regarding the IPR. So the timelines now is first application in May, second round in September, and so the final decision in December. So is there a standard agreement, general agreement around IPR, or when, if not, I see a potential risk that it will take quite the time before the parties has agreed on the IPR?
Look.
It's okay. So in response to that, the process by which the applications are evaluated, reviewed, and then selected to go forward, there's two stages. So at stage one, it is the expression of interest from public applicants. At stage two, the top-ranked expression of interest from the public applicants, that is selected to work with the FPA consortium to produce the full project proposal. And once that full project proposal that's submitted and reviewed, there's then a period of negotiation where the participants in the consortium, they agree a project agreement and a grant agreement that covers the financial, the legal, the IPR issues. So that is all covered within the time frame and the timeline. Our timelines are short, and they're much shorter than they have been previously. And so what we are advising is that even as public and FPA partners are working on the full project proposal, they should be highlighting any potential IPR issues or any issues that will need to be addressed as they go along, because you're completely right. The sooner they're identified, the more time you have to work on them, and the more time you have to get an agreement that everybody is happy with.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that? Sorry. Presumably as well, because this call is very complex in terms of bringing together different people's libraries and compound things, there are IPR issues that could be identified and resolved during the project, presumably, and you could put funding in for IP work during the project, not just trying to guess it all up front in a short period of time.
Within this, the best situation to have is that you have everything agreed before you start the project, because you don't want your project participants to be consumed in wrangling and arguing as they go forward. So the best thing to do, and I'm sure if you want, Michael is in the room, it's to get agreement up front. The rules for IMI are there, they're established. FPA have worked with them before. We have now got over 40 projects that have successfully implemented the IPR rules, and there are many different types of project, from education, training, safety, efficacy. I think my advice would be sort out and address all your issues up front. The timelines are tough, but we want our projects to spend their time concentrating on delivering scientific excellence, not arguing about ownership and IPR at a later stage. I think it makes much more sense to try and address that before.
Just as an academic, and maybe it's just a small advice, but what we felt very helpful was, I mean, FPA now has their rules and they know more or less what constraints they will work with, but the academic institutes may be different. And just explain to your own legal people in your academic institutes what exactly the project will be about already solves typically much of the issues, because I mean, they are lawyers and they read the letters and they say, oh, but if you have this or that, but if you explain what the project will be about, then they say, okay, so then it's not an issue. Okay, we can live with it then. So, I mean, you need to spend some time as an academic to explain exactly what you will do. And if there is an issue, then you need to stand firmly and it needs to be resolved. But oftentimes issues are sort of popping up where there isn't really a real issue for that specific project. So that's maybe an advice for the academic people on board here.
I think I would like to move on to the next question. Gentleman with the yellow tie. There's a lot of light coming in, so I have some problems in watching and seeing exactly. Yes, please identify yourself.
Walter Luijten, KU Leuven. I have a question about the relationship between prospective applicants and FPM members. Professor Troosters mentioned that he got a lot of benefit from his contacts from the earliest of stages with FPM members, and that they also gave him some useful advice along the way as he was developing his proposal. However, in previous information sessions, we've been told that prospective applicants should not contact FPM members, that the FPM members don't have the time, and should not, in any case, give any information to particular applicants, because that could lead to the impression that some applicants are being given inside information or more information than others, leading to not a level playing field. So could someone please clarify what are the rules?
Well, maybe let me first clarify what we did, because we didn't do a great deal. I mean, what happened is that in conferences and so on, I mean, we saw that physical activity was something that seemed to be appealing. I've never written or contacted formally one of the FPM members, so don't worry, we didn't breach any of the rules there, but it was clear that there was an interest when developing a patient-reported outcome tool, and there was nothing existing in physical activity, that this was going to be appealing to FPM members. So there hasn't been a formal contact between any of our parties and the FPM members before we started the call, but we had a feeling that it might be interested.